So we're covering the US or the east of the Mississippi River, the United States. We said that the United States actually consists or divided into regions, and the regions are divided into smaller parts, which are called sub-region, which has the same characteristics of a region. What are the regions or the sub-regions of the US or the United States? We have New England, the Mid-Atlantic, and we have the Midwest and the Southeast. So we have four main regions. New England, we said that it takes its name because actually these are the first people or the first settlers or the first colonists to come to the US, and they settled in the area and they called it New England. We have many settlers there, or there used to be settlers, and it includes states of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. Also, we have the Mid Atlantic, which is south of New England, and also it consists of Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and they are considered of America's original 13 colonies. And the main or the capital city, which is Washington, D.C. We have the Midwest, and the Midwest consists of Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, and they are considered part of the sub-region of the Midwest. They are named breadbasket because they are actually consist with many food crops, or many food crops are grown there. And the southeast, which consists of 11 states: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia, and some southeastern states which have long coastal borders on the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico. Then we talked about the most important bodies of water, and we said that we have the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf Coast, which consists or plays a very important role in the region's land and economy because many people have benefited from it in many ways, and they are using it for transportation or for electricity or for fishing, or even using the the sandy beaches for as resorts. We also had the Great Lakes, which are very important, and they were once formed from or out of massive glaciers. Then they are moving from west to east, which consist of great lakes like Lake Ontario, um, and which connected to the St. Lawrence River. We talked about the St. Lawrence Seaway, and we said it's very important and it has many locks, which consist of considered as a sea route in the United States. Also, we said or we talked in class about the Mississippi River or the mighty Mississippi, and here we're studying the states that are east of the Mississippi, which has many tributaries and such as or it empties in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's considered one of the most important rivers in the US. Okay, then we said that we have ships and steamboats that are filled with passengers and cargo that cross the river. Then we talked about rivers as boundaries and the Ohio River. And we said that the Ohio River is a very important river, and where it has many rivers that combines in western Pennsylvania, and it actually participated in the history of people. Okay, what about the most important landform in the US? Who can tell me about the most important landforms? Hmm. Ward, can you tell us about the most important landforms?
Yes. the Atlantic coastal plain and the Appalachian Mountains.
Yes, the Appalachian Mountains, or the Appalachian Mountains, actually.
And
And also we have the Atlantic coastal plain, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us first about the Atlantic coastal plain, Yaward?
Yes, it sits at the edge of a very big continental platform, and most of its platform is underwater or flooded by water, and
Yes,
it forms a shelf around the Atlantic coastline. And um,
yes. What about the Appalachian Mountains? Who can tell us about the Appalachian Mountains? Okay, let me see. Kareem, go ahead.
Okay. The Appalachian Mountain system is the oldest, longest chain of mountains in the United States States, east of the Mississippi River. بس ممكن حضرتك بس تطلع فوق شوية.
Okay.
East of the Mississippi River, it begins in Alabama and continues 1,500 miles northeast to Canadian border. Dense forests cover much of the Appalachian Mountains, which are known for their rugged beauty. The mountains of the Appalachian system stand side by side in parallel ranges. Two of the most well-known Appalachian mountain ranges are the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia and the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. These mountain ranges were formed from sedimentary rock by powerful upheavals within Earth's crust. The mountains have worn down over time because of natural erosion, compared to younger mountain ranges such as Rockies in the western United States. The Appalachian Mountains shows their age and their worn, rounded appearance.
Yes. Okay, Kareem. So, as a summary for what you said, we said that the Appalachian Mountains are very important landform in the United States. They are formed from actually a sedimentary rock, and one of the most important mountains there is the Blue Ridge Mountain in Virginia and the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. Okay, and they are covering most of it are covered with dense forests. All right, and we said that they are one of the longest and the oldest mountain ranges there. We also said that Appalachian Mountains are home for many natural wonders, such as the fall line, the waterfalls, and many animals and plant life. Also, we talked yesterday about the climate in the United States, and we said that we have four different climate zones. Who can tell us about the climate? Hmm? Jannah?
The climate of eastern United States is as varied as the landscape. The changing seasons in most places east of the Mississippi are quite noticeable. New England and the Midwest see the most dramatic seasonal changes. These regions have cold winters and hot, humid summers. Autumn is cool and colorful. The leaves change color. Springtime brings rainy and snowy weather and strong storms. Coastal areas tend to have mild climate states along the east. Coastal experience seasons, but temperatures are less extreme than they are inland. States located further south experience milder changes in seasons. Much of the southeast has a humid subtropical climate. Summers are rainy and hot, and winters are cooler and drier in general. Climates of the eastern United States are more humid and rainy than climates of the west in late summer and early autumn. Hurricanes, ocean storms that span hundreds of miles, with winds of at least 74 miles per hour, can pound the coastline. One of the most damaging hurricanes in history, Hurricane Katrina, struck the Gulf Coast in August 2005. More than 1,800 people died and hundreds of thousands lost their homes.
So if we're talking about the climate zone, thank you, Jannah. If we're talking about the climate zones in eastern United States, actually, It varies. The climate of Eastern is varied at the landscape, also changing seasons and places. So we will have in New England and the Midwest, you will see dramatic seasonal changes. The region have cold winters, hot, humid summers. Autumn is cooler, colorful leaves change color, and springtime is rainy and snowy. So we have four seasons in this area in New England. When we move to the coastal areas, it tends to have mild climates and it will experience seasons, but temperatures are less extreme. And the inland or the states isolated further experience milder changes in seasons. But when we move to the southeast, it will have humid subtropical climate zone, which has summers are rainy and hot, winters and cooler but dry. But in general, you'll find also in the west hurricanes. And hurricanes are ocean storms that span hundreds of miles with winds at least of 74 miles per hour. The most important hurricane that have struck the area was Hurricane Katrina, which struck the Gulf Coast of August, and actually 1,800 people died and thousands of people have lost their homes. Today, we're going to be covering the mineral and farming and industry. Let's talk first about the mineral. Who can tell us about the mineral and the energy resources? Okay, who's ready? Adam الفحلة.
Do I lead?
Yes.
Mineral and energy resources. Uh, a wealth of resources is hidden below the surface of the region, and two of the most valuable materials are minerals and energy resources. Minerals and natural substances such as iron, ore, gold, and zinc. These minerals can be processed into metals. Metals and other form of mineral are used in manufacturing and construction. Energy resources such as coal, oil, and natural gas are called fossil fuel. Burning coal can produce electricity. Oil is produced into fuel for cars and other vehicles. Natural gas is used to heat our homes and generate electricity. The demand for mineral and energy resources is huge. Mining them is a major industry in the U.S. east of the Mississippi River. Minerals and energy resources are mined from inside mountains and formed deep under the ground. Some mining methods harm the environment by damaging the land and populating the water, soil, and air.
Okay, so if I'm going to summarize the mineral and the energy resources, you'll find that the United States actually has a wealth of resources that is hidden below the surface of the region. And the most important energy resources are minerals. Minerals, of course, such as iron ore, gold, and zinc. And they can be processed into metals, and the metals are used in manufacturing and construction. The energy resources such as coal and oil and natural gas are called fossil fuels. And burning coal can produce electricity. So we are using the coal in producing electricity. And also oil is processed into fuels to be used in cars and other vehicles. The natural gas is used to heat our homes or to generate electricity. But actually the demand for these minerals is good. That's why they are mining is a major industry in the region. Also, we can use the Mississippi River as a source of energy by using it in generating electricity. But actually, mining has a bad effect on the environment because it actually damages the environment. What about farming and industry? Who can tell us about farming and industry? Okay, Dahrug.
Yes, yes.
Read about farming and industry يا دحروج.
One of the most valuable resources east of the Mississippi River is farmland. The rich soil is excellent for growing crops such as grains, fruits, and vegetables. Sandy soils in the west, in the southwest, southeast are good for growing cotton. Excellent growing conditions have helped the region become a major producer of meat, dairy foods, wood, cotton, sugar, corn, and wheat, soybeans, and other food crops.
Thank you, Yadahu.
Industry.
Thank you,
Okay.
Rahul. So if we're talking
Welcome.
about the farming, actually, it's one of the most important valuable resources. Why? Because we have the Mississippi River, which helps to irrigate the farmland and also helped to have a very rich soil, which is excellent for growing crops. They are growing by grains, fruit, vegetable. Sandy soils also are good for growing cotton, and excellent conditions have helped the region to become a major producer of meat, dairy food, wood, cotton, sugar, corn, wheat, soybeans, and other food crops. So farming is valuable because they have the Mississippi River, which help to irrigate the land and at the same time help it to make the soil actually very fertile. What about the industries? Who can read about the industries? Okay. Abdurrahman Sobh, read about the industry.
Okay. Industries such as logging, mining, and fishing are a way of life throughout the region. Products such as automobiles, electronics, and clothing are made in factories in these cities. Land formation, technology, and tourism are also important. Plentiful resources and hard-working people make the eastern United States one of the most productive regions in the world.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. So industry also is very important because we said that they have fishing, because of the bodies of water, they have mining, and also they are producing automobiles, electronics, and clothing, which are made in factories in these cities. Information technology and tourism also important, and they have hardworking people, which are the most productive region of the world. We consider Eastern United States is the most productive region of the world. That's it for the lesson today. Anyone has any question about the lesson, guys?
No,
I have summarized the whole lesson. Anyone has any question?
no.
Okay. Your homework, as for your homework, you're going to be answering the practice book questions, okay, for this lesson, the physical geography of Eastern or east of the United States, east of the Mississippi River. I'm going to be waiting for your homework till Saturday maximum by 11 p.m. Okay? So you finish your homework and send it to the assignments button or to the SMS email. I only will receive this homework on these two channels only, SMS email or the assignments button. All right? Okay. Thank you very much. See you inshallah next week. Bye.